Again, I'm Heath.
And I'm Nicole.
And we want to show, well, Nicole's going to demo how to get acquainted with your cups for some self-care. So I'm going to get behind the camera and try to be sure that you can see everything well, and I'll leave the floor to Nicole for discussing different options.
Yeah, so I'd love for you to join along with me if you'd like. Grab some cups and grab a little bit of oil that you have around, or lotion or essential oils that you have. I have a nice combination of essential oil blend here. So for me, I like to just grab a little bit first, and one spot that I can start on for self-care, I'm gonna pull my hair back here a little bit, and I can start to place this on my traps and shoulders. So a lot of us come home from work and our traps, our shoulders are tight, our neck is tight, right? So I'm gonna apply some oil to my traps. I'm gonna grab a smaller one of my cups. So grabbing my cup, and I can begin to squeeze my cup first, squeeze it first, and then place it on the body, and then it'll create a nice little suction somewhere. So you got to get a good amount of skin. And then once you do, it's on there pretty good, you can just leave it and just let it hang out while you're watching TV, while you're making some dinner, while you're getting your kids all ready for bed, or getting ready for, getting them all into the shower. So mine's already turning a nice little color pink, I think, already in there. So this is where I oftentimes hold a lot of chronic tension and stress, so I'm not surprised to see color already. I could also slide it. So I could start closer to the nape of my neck, maybe get a smaller one of my cups. I even have a smaller one than that. And I could start even closer. I want to get the skin to be a little softer. I don't want to pull it, stretch it tight. It won't grab if I stretch my skin too much there. So I want to create some slack in my tissue, and then I could slide it down and across. I can slide it down and across. And it's called flashing, what they call flashing. So I squeeze, let it suction on my skin, and then slide it across and out. And it's kind of fun. So that's one place to use it. And you can I'll just find a good spot to leave it on, maybe try it on the other side. If you'd like to, you can leave that on there, and we can move to the lower body. Actually, you can move to your arm. So we'll just go down the body a little bit here. Getting a little bit more lotion or oil. I'm applying it to my forearms here, just spreading it out a little bit. So a lot of us come home from work and maybe your wrists are tight, or your elbows are a little sore, or your shoulders tight. So a lot of times we can work with our own fascia here. So I can get a nice little suction on my forearm, and I can slide either going up or down. Get a feel for the suction. So you want to make sure that you can actually, you can even move it. So I can create little circles with it, kind of pull the fascia up and down a little bit, and I can slide with it.
And if you're really hairy, like myself, or you have not a lot of flesh, it'll be more difficult to make that connection, or you'll need a smaller cup.
Yeah, and again, you can just let it lay stationary, or you can maybe zigzag. This is a little tougher area for me. My arm's a little small here, so I don't have a big, let me try a smaller cup. I even have one smaller.
There you go.
So I can zigzag, kind of stretch the fascia here with my smallest little face cup, or just let it sit and hang out. So that's another option for you. So it could feel good, maybe feel good for you, maybe not. Maybe just the sliding, the flashing feels really nice. Easy way to create circulation in that one part of your body. And I can hear the little every time I lift off. So it's a nice option.
And notice she's not pushing down.
No pushing down. Oh, so as massage therapists, we always have a tendency to press down. And even when we're using the cups, we oftentimes press down first to slide it. So you don't need to press down. Actually, you want to emphasize the lift up and off. And a good spot to do that is on the leg. So if you'd like to, you can join me there. I'm going to grab a little bit more oil here so that I can show you how I use it on my leg and thigh. All right, here we go. So I wore shorts for modesty's sake, so I'm just gonna apply my oil here. You can even do this to your calves. Awesome. My favorite spot on the body is my calves to have massage and work. I often, if your client has plantar fasciitis, this would be great for them. You wanna add this to your sessions. Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna use a more medium-sized cup for my thigh. You could use the largest, it just depends on how sensitive the area is. My ITs are often really sore. My low back gets a little tense. This is usually my weak area. So I'm gonna apply and use a smaller cup here instead of the larger one. And again, I wanna make sure it's suctioning. I wanna see the skin pull. I let it rest there. You can even play with the level of the suction. You could squeeze more to get more suction, squeeze less. You don't want it to be so painful that you can't move it, but over time that pain will decrease. And then I can slowly begin to slide it up my thigh. So for those of you who are looking to reduce the appearance of cellulite, this would be one thing to do. This is also really great to help relieve the tension on your IT band. Oh my God, yes. So you can do straight lines as a slide. You can do this along the top of your quad. Nice straight, easy flowing lines.
So notice Nicole's moving mostly toward the lymphatic flow, the venous return.
Thanks.
I can already see the more coloration coming to, especially around your upper IT and your quadrata.
And remember, the more where you see the more color, that's where there's more stagnation, where there's less blood flow in the body.
Now you could go away from the heart. You would just be having a different intention. So generally it's a little easier to go down the IT band instead of up. So just to depend if you're looking to reorganize fascia, or maybe you want to focus more on the lymphatic system, you get to decide. You choose which direction to go based on which result you want to create.
Cool. You can also do little zigzags. Go up and down zigzagging. So less suction. If you're having trouble moving, you want to use less suction. So if you can't move at all, let it kind of release you kind of can release it by kind of maybe even moving it to the side, or just releasing completely and using just a little less squeeze when you get on the body.
Yeah, it shouldn't feel like it's pinching you. And that's a language we use a lot of times with clients. If it feels pinchy, then we probably want to back off.
So I can do zigzags. Ooh, I feel that. Or I can use big or little circles. One or two hands. So I can do circles. Get around that greater trochanter. And those areas that I feel the most resistance, where I feel the most tension or pain, that's where I'm going to focus. So right here for me, down here closer to my knee, is actually where I feel the most tension. So where is that for you? And maybe focus extra circles there. Maybe extra zigzags over those areas. Really lift up and loosen the fascia in that part of your body. I can also focus more just with lymphatic flow. So I'm going to squeeze, and then I'm going to bring everything up towards the groin. So I'm going to kind of go at a diagonal towards my adductors. So from most lateral, and then bringing it all the way close to my adductor, going towards my groin. So that's another option. I also notice that the slower I go, the better it feels. So kind of play with your own pace. So that's kind of fun to do. If you had low back pain, low back tension, so the same thing that I still have a little cup on my shoulder, you can add that same little cup, same idea to your low back. So maybe you had SI joint pain, and you can place a couple cups right over your SI and then continue walking around doing your thing. Or, lay on your belly and hang out and watch TV or something. So the uses of these are really great. You can also slide on your back, up and down.
And also remember, if you do this in the shower or bath or swimming pool, hot tub, you don't need to actually use the oil. You can just allow the water.
And sometimes a little bit of soap, but yeah. You can go from your chest out towards your shoulder, draining your own lymph, working with any, for our clients who have mastectomies, this would be a great area to work with to help reduce scar tissue. This would be their homework at home. Over your belly for digestion. So if you're having trouble constipation, you can do sliding around your belly, or even holding over like your colon or ileocecal valve. So those are also really great options for self-care. Again, I haven't really played too much with my face because my face turns red really fast in general, and I haven't, now that we're at home, we're on a stay at home, I might start playing with it so I'm not, I'm not out in public with a red streak marks across my face, but I'm gonna see how that works out for me. But you could add this to your daily facial regimen.
Just make sure you always move. Don't do any stationary cupping on your face, or you will have a black and blue spot, even in just a few seconds.
You don't want, you can have your own unicorn. All right, cool.